The same reason why Warren Buffett said it's not about how hard you roll, but it's about the boat you're in, is the same reason why working on your business will always be more efficient than working in your business. And in this video, I want to go over how can you take your boat from being a fucking kayak to a legit yacht. The difference is your boat will be more leveraged, and that will enable you to be able to work on your business instead of in your business. How can you build a client acquisition system that is more leveraged so that you can afford to work on your business instead of in your business and still be 10 times more efficient? And it all starts with leverage. And so the first thing you want to understand before even going into this is that there's a belief that you need to break. And the first belief you need to break is the fact that you need one acquisition funnel. Relying on one acquisition funnel is killing you more than you think. The problem with relying on one acquisition funnel is that you're capped, you're limited. And so you're probably relying only on outreach, yourself, ads, content, or worse again, right? Not only you're relying on these things individually, but worse again, instead of working on the business, like it says in the title, you're working in the business, which is subconsciously costing your business to grow. It is affecting you more than you think, whether you want to admit it or not. Not having leverage by relying on one acquisition funnel is costing you more than you think. And I want to go over a specific example. And there's one thing you need to understand from it is that you want to be a gardener, not an ant, not a fucking NPC. And what I mean by that is because the gardener, the G, is the owner. When you're thinking and operating as the owner, you're playing a different game at a different level, my guy. Because you're the one who planned the layout of the garden, decide which paths to grow. You create the schedule for watering, fertilizing, etc. Because you're focusing on the bigger picture. You're looking at the bigger picture, ensuring that the plants are all have what they need to thrive. And look what it gives you. Ain't that fucking beautiful? Goddamn. I would love to be there. That makes me think of the Garden of Eden, right? That God's created. Look how amazing it is. And so this is how you should think and how you should operate in your business. And you should be able to build a system that is going to enable you to do that. But most of you watching, you're probably working like an ant. You're probably like my friend here, Jeffrey. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even be friends with him because he's a fucking NPC. Because as a worker, right? As a worker ant, if you're an ant, you're busy with the day-to-day task. You run the business like it's a 9 to 5. You carry soil, water, individual plant, and you remove weeds. You're consistently moving, doing important but small-scaled tasks. You feel like you're doing a lot, but you're having no impact. Why? Because you're operating in the wrong level of leverage. There's a video that I made which is leverage that goes deeper into this. Okay, I don't want to repeat myself, but you're operating in the wrong level of the average. And on top of that, you're also operating in the wrong level of value. And this is another video I made about from Myron Golden. Go check that out also. But you are operating at a small scale. You are doing small scale tasks without stepping back to see the overall state of the garden, without looking back at the bigger picture and thinking and operating like the owner. And at the end of every single day, your legs probably looks like this. I don't even want to look at the picture. Fucking disgusting. But hey, when you're working in the business, you're like the worker ant who's focused on immediate and delayed tasks that keep the business running day to day, but don't necessarily contribute to its long-term growth. So you want to step back and actually look at your business from the bigger picture and focus on the mission and the vision of your business. So right now, you might even be handling customer service, right? Appointment setting, doing it yourself, managing people, right? Probably only relying on cold outreach or ads, or again, maybe you're fulfilling your service for your clients by yourself. And these tasks are important, but they consume your time and energy, preventing you from seeing the bigger picture, like I was saying. And the way to be able to work on your business and not in your business is to be leveraged. Leverage here is the key word. Okay, and without repeating myself, like I said, I already have a video going over leverage in details, and I really go deep there. But how much leverage is possible in our society nowadays? One thing you need to understand about leverage is that there's 4 levels of leverage, and you're probably operating at the wrong level of leverage, and you're probably not maximizing each level. And I'm going to explain myself as I go through, so make sure to watch until the end, right? And the first level of leverage, which is also the oldest and the lower form of leverage, is labor. This is from a leverage that's been the same ever since like 1,000 years ago, right? It never changed, which is managing people, right? Instead of me having to lift a heavy rock by myself that I can barely lift, I could have 10 people doing it for me. while I could remove myself and go work on something that is more impactful, right? You have to understand this, and I will go back on this by the end of the video. But this is basically what leverage allows you to do, and this is why leverage is the key to be able to work on the business and not in the business. But the problem with labor, the problem with that is that managing people in a business is probably the most demanding task of all, and it requires great leader skills, managing skills, and coping with dealing with people's emotions, right? And dealing with a whole bunch of stuff that are out of your control, which is just gonna add more stress to you. You need a minimal amount of people working for you, which will allow you to remove yourself and focus on what is more leverage in your business. And those are the next level of leverage that I'm gonna go over, which are the things that have more impact on your business than the lower form leverage being labor, right? The second level of leverage, which has a bit more impact, is capital. This is simply other people's money, aka paid ads for your online high-ticket coaching business. This is why the richest people in the last centuries were bankers, investors, and asset managers, people who moved a large amount of money, right? This is the Warren Buffett and the Mungers that we know now, okay? They made their wealth by leveraging capital. They made it by financing and using other people's money as leverage, okay? And last but not least, the third or fourth level of leverage, which is pretty much the same level, there's two things. It's code and media, product with no marginal cost of application. And this is the biggest form of leverage. Nowadays, we are living on a mine of gold right now, and you can even see where I'm going with that. This is the newest form of leverage, right? Why? Because now you can multiply your efforts without having to rely on other people, aka labor, and without needing other people's money, capital. This video right there is a form of leverage. Why? Because I filmed it once, uploaded once, posted once, and now 1 million people can see it without me having to pay for impression. No marginal cost of replication. I can post this video, 100 people can see it, or 100 million people can see it. And this is just for one video. The best thing about media is that it compounds. And that I talk about this also in the video, so I don't want to get ahead of myself or repeat myself. But this is the power of these form of leverage. They have no marginal cost of replication. This is what's going to build your brand. This is what's going to build you an audience. This is what's going to build your personal brand. This is what's going to be able to justify you charging 10 times more than other people. And now I'm going really far because this is really, in the long term, this is what creates a brand. So these people are people like Andrew Tate, Mr. Beast, Joe Rogan, Kai Cenat. These people have a huge freaking brand. Here in this case, Andrew Tate can literally start a fucking brand with this face on, this goofy ass picture of him. He could start a clothing brand with that as his logo and make millions of dollars. And me on the other side, I can try to do the same shit with the best quality shirt and the best picture of me. Even if I was the best looking guy on earth, I would never be able to fucking print like he will. Why? Because he has a brand, and these people all build a brand off of media, off of attention, off of eyeballs. I also have another video going over attention is the new economy. Strongly suggest you to watch this. Lots of value, and I go way deeper into this. But yeah, I don't want to repeat myself. And then on the other hand, there's code also, right? So people like Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, Mark. These people are code-based leverage, right? But obviously, I'm talking about all this shit for a reason. But my point being is that each level of leverage are great, but the magic happens when you leverage each one of these lever. The ultimate fucking lever. When you have each level of leverage, this is when you really squeeze the entire juice out of the orange. This is really when you squeeze the most out of the orange. This is really when you get the most out of every single level of leverage. Because the magic happens when you combine all 4 levels of leverage. That's what the tech companies did, right? To get the minimum input, but yet the highest output. So having the most amount of leverage, right? They use the first level of leverage, which is labor, by hiring great engineers, coders, product designers, and then they use capital for marketing, ads, scaling, all that good stuff, and reinvest in coding, and then they use media for content, podcasts, and putting themselves out there. So they were taking other people's money, capital, to get other people, aka labor, hiring talent, to write codes, and they will sell as media once they get all the eyeballs. Now you don't know how to code? Great, do like Alex Hormozi did. He switched from his old business model, which was service-based business, where he was selling other people's time, doing done-for-you services. In my video, don't sell information, but do this. In that video, I go over done for you and done with you and all that good stuff. But he was doing done for you services where he would literally fly out in person and have no leverage, because he would literally have to fly out in person to help his clients sell, scale, and close. He was doing it in person, so he had no leverage howsoever. He was the middleman. He was the ant in the business. He was doing too much operation. He wasn't leveraged. And then he switched to licensing media and sell at zero cost of replication. All right. And so my point talking about all of this is that every single level of leverage are great. You're going to see a lot of people telling you that capital, right? So for your case, paid ads is the best level of leverage. It's the best acquisition channel. It's the best way to be leveraged. I mean, yes, you spend more to get more, but the thing is that if you consider paid ads really in the long term, the problem with paid ads is that the more you spend, the more it's become expensive to have access to the same eyeballs. The more it becomes expensive, your cost per acquisition gonna go to the roof, right? And you're only gonna be profitable in long time value. At some point, you're gonna lose money acquiring people if you fucking just rely on only paid ads, okay? And so you're basically just having a fucking kayak, and so you have to row harder to make more and to be more efficient on the long run. So it doesn't fucking work. This is why leverage happens when you leverage every single lever, because this is where you optimize your boat to be a leverage fucking boat, so that you don't have to row harder to go farther. You don't have to row harder to be faster. And so the best acquisition system you can pull off is by leveraging every single one of them. And this is what I want to go over. So considering what I just said, you would have an acquisition funnel for labor by leveraging outbound, leveraging talent, an acquisition system for paid ads, for paid growth, to leverage consistent and predictable growth, and an acquisition system for media, so for organic growth, to build your personal brand, build your brand on the long term. This is where the magic happens, because at this point you won't just be leveraging on organic alone, because organic is great, but it takes time. Let's be real, let's be honest, it takes time, and you only get the reward of your work on the long run when it compounds, right? And so yes, no cost of replication, that's great. You get free attention, but it takes time and it needs to compound for you to actually reap the reward. So it's great to have this installed as soon as possible, especially if you want to play the long term. But you also need paid ads for predictable and consistent growth, because paid ads at the end of the day, it is predictable. You have control on the number of impression that you have on, unless like organic, which in the beginning you don't. When it compounds, that's where the magic happens. But really when you combine both of them, this is really when you unlock another level of leverage. And if on top of that, you build conversation every single day with people, you get in touch with people, right? We have a team of appointment setter that we train. I train an appointment setter every single day that we place in your business that are going to generate you 150 to 200 DMs per day, which is basically almost $20 to $30 per day, which is about $450 per month. A team of VA that we train every single day that we're going to place in your business according to your offer, sending you 200 DMs per day. And for a direct response funnel, we have a script that we provide for you. We're going to launch your campaign and direct your ads to your calendar, and straight to that calendar, the traffic is going to be redirected to the pre-call. And for every single leads that hopped in from the ads, these leads are going to be dialed by our AI. The AI that we tested with your offer, that we tested before we launched the campaign, and then we launched the campaign, the AI is going to call every single leads after they booked and follow up with them with our follow-up sequence with SMS, email, and the AI calling them back if they don't reply. And if they book them, the AI is going to literally remind them of the call 24 hours before the call and 4 hours before the call to make sure that they show up. And our AI is also tested and trained to literally qualify and book these people. And on the other hand, we have a content strategy which consists of posting 4 reels per day with our content automation calendar script that you will be leveraging. And your landing page here is going to be your profile. This is where all the eyeballs, all the attention are redirected to your profile, where now you own that attention. You are the platform now. And on the video, the attention is the new economy, I talk about this way deeper. Strongly suggest you to go watch it. But these people turn into followers, and this is how you nurture these people, by posting consistently with our content strategy, by nurturing them, educating them, and that's what's going to build your brand, literally. And guess what? On top of that, all the inbound leads coming from your profile are appointment setters, our VAs, our appointment setters that we've trained, are going to book these people on calls. Something I always tell them is don't waste a fucking eyeball. So not only they're gonna take care of the outbound, but we also train them to actually do the same for the inbound leads and all the warm people that are coming in from your personal brand, that are coming in from your content. By leveraging these two acquisition funnels, you inevitably get the most leverage you can possibly have in the market without you having to row harder in your fucking kayak. Right? I would rather swim than do that. I'm just being honest. At this point, what's the point? Right? So if you're not leveraged, you're gonna be competed. You're gonna be destroyed by someone who's leveraged. Because when you're leveraged, this is when you can afford to make more while doing less. So the problem is not how many DM do you send. The problem is not how much you spend on ads. The problem is not how hard you row. The problem is what boat are you in? How leveraged are you? So how leveraged is your boat? So if you want to become more leveraged and actually want to leverage this acquisition system that we build in for you, that we will implement for you in your business, as well as taking care of your offer and making you charge more while giving 10 times more value. Because obviously with a bad offer, that entire client acquisition system doesn't work. If your offers suck, at the end of the day, you get a shit ton of people, but they're all going to leave you after, even if you print a shit ton in the front end. Like I said, I never gatekeep. I don't gatekeep. I'm just being real. A lot of people are gonna try to sold you on, oh, the IG growth funnel, or I don't even know how they fucking call it anymore, value funnel, IG sniper strategy, whatever the fuck they call it, your IG funnel. Yeah, right. I mean, go ahead and rely on one acquisition funnel. If you want to be on a fucking kayak, go ahead, use one acquisition channel if you want, and let's say it works. If your offers suck, you're gonna build yourself a bad reputation. You're gonna scam people, basically. You're gonna build yourself a bad reputation. Or some people are only gonna tell you, hey, yo, the ways Facebook ads, great. Run the same ads for a year. We're gonna see your cost per acquisition go through the roof. So if you actually want to have the most average acquisition system and want to take your offer to the next level, book a call with me. The link is on my YouTube bio, and make sure to watch the pre-call video. Take care and comment on what you want to see next.